Hello and everybody once again for another exciting episode of RCW Strike Zone, coming to you live from Worcester, Massachusetts. Another exciting night of action. I am your host, Tuba Splat, for tonight's show here on the Strike Zone. Of course, our main event tonight will be Chris Jericho versus Seth Rollins. But it's not just going to be to a one-fall match. It's going to be a ladder match. The winner will face Finn Balor at overtime for the RCW World Heavyweight Championship. We will see Finn Balor in action later on tonight, as well as our Twitch TV champion, Dolph Ziggler. But the stipulation for our main event, yes, the winner will face Finn Balor at overtime for the World Heavyweight Championship. But if Seth Rollins loses, he will automatically face Dolph Ziggler for the Twitch TV Championship, since he won that Battle Royal back at Final Bell. But kicking off tonight's action, we have Apollo Crews taking on a double Austin Aries. And of course, Apollo Crews, a future world champion in professional wrestling, has got all the tools, the athleticism, and the charisma. He's got all the tools to be a future world champion. I hope to see that soon enough in his career. And here comes Austin Aries, who made his debut against the former world champion Chris Jericho on the Strike Zone and was not successful in defeating the champion in his first match. Austin Aries had a great career down in TNA and NXT, and then joining the Cruiserweight division over on Monday Night Raw and the brand extension. And here we go with some one-on-one action. Apollo Crews and Austin Aries. He tests his strength here as Austin Aries pushes Crews into the corner. Of course, the ref having to break up. And Apollo Crews with a side suplex there to Austin Aries. And a jumping elbow, split leg. And a Samoan drop to Austin Aries. Thought he was going to go for a follow-away slam there. And of course, Apollo Crews was a part of the finish to the 3-on-1 handicap match against Luke Harper back at Final Bell. Fell victim to Luke Harper as his partner Shinsuke Nakamura and Ty Dillinger laid him to waste as Austin Aries with a takedown to Apollo Crews and just keeping the big man down. He's in a modified surfboard stretch right now. And Apollo Crews able to fight out of it. And Apollo Crews is meaning all business since he took the fall to Luke Harper at Final Bell. And Apollo Crews with a gut wrench suplex there to Austin Aries. Of course, Austin Aries, a former world champion in his own right. In TNA, the former X Division champion and world heavyweight champion. Decided that he's done all that he's needed to do down in TNA. Came over to NXT and the Cruiserweight division at WWE. Now he's here in RCW. And Austin Aries with his own split leg elbow to the heart of Apollo Crews. And Apollo Crews with the headlock to Aries, and Aries fighting out. Aries not one of the biggest men to lace up a pair of boots, but he sure as hell is passionate for what he does. Austin Aries with the springboard moonsault off the ropes. But Apollo Crews another suplex. Now working the legs of Austin Aries. Austin Aries with a crucifix takedown. And again, working the back and the neck. Back on that modified surfboard stretch to Apollo Crews. Austin Aries missing the clothesline. That would have ducked his head right in the top turnbuckle as he goes for a DDT to Apollo Crews. And Aries looking for the giant lariat from the corner. Now Austin Aries might be looking to finish off Apollo Crews here in our opening matchup with that submission. The last wanderer. Is Apollo Crews going to tap out to this submission hold here, right in the middle of the ring. Apollo Crews fighting out of it as there was a big right hand to the face of Austin Aries. Now Aries in the corner. Aries reversing, putting Apollo in the corner. Aries, sunset flip into the cover. And Apollo Crews kicking out before too. Now Austin Aries making sure Crews is going to stay down as he's using the ropes to his advantage here for the pin. And Apollo Crews kicks out. And an atomic drop from Austin Aries. And an enziguri from Apollo Crews. Beautifully executed. Crews into the cover on Aries. And Aries continues to fight. And now Apollo Crews with the military press. Slam into the standing shooting star press into the cover. And Apollo Crews picks up the win. Apollo Crews is focused to get back on track. As you see right there, Austin Aries using the ropes to put more pressure onto Apollo Crews to make him stay to the mat, and Apollo Crews with that enziguri. The back of the head of Crews. It would be that standing shooting star press from Apollo Crews that would put Austin Aries away in our opening contest. Congratulations, Crews. Coming up next, the #1 contender for Sasha Banks and her RCW Women's Championship, Asuka, will be taking on the former and two-time Women's Champion Nikki Bella in one-on-one action as Asuka prepares to take on Sasha Banks at RCW's Overtime since winning a Battle Royal for chip at Final Bell. And this would be a great contest and great test for Asuka to take on the former and two-time Women's Champion Nikki Bella. Both the women in this matchup are very decorated competitors. Nikki Bella, a two-time Women's Champion in WWE and a two-time Women's Champion here in RCW. Of course, the longest reigning WWE Divas Champion. But even for Nikki, this would be a test for her, as Nikki has to face this woman who holds the longest single reign in NXT history. The longest reigning NXT Women's Champion and longest reigning champion in NXT, period. The very dangerous Asuka. And of course, Asuka and her NXT Women's Championship reign captured it from Bayley at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. And has held the title ever since. Faced off against the likes of Nia Jax, and even in a fatal four-way women's division championship match in NXT at TakeOver San Antonio. Two completely different worlds colliding here in RCW. Very accomplished athletes, these two women. #1 contender versus the former champion. And here we go, Asuka and Nikki Bella. First time ever. And Asuka immediately right on the attack with the arm to Nikki Bella. Nikki, Hurricane Rana. An uppercut from Asuka and a running dropkick to Nikki Bella. Sure, Asuka, in preparation for this match, she has watched all the tapes of all of Nikki's matches. And it appears that Nikki Bella has done the same. Done all sorts of research, watching the tapes of her opponent here. As these two ladies are going counter after counter. And Nikki Bella with the electric chair drop to Asuka. And a snap suplex from the former champion. Is Nikki looking to weaken the arm of Asuka? And it is repeatedly slamming Asuka's head into the mat. Dead center in the ring. Asuka sending Nikki up and over the top rope. She ascends to the middle rope and a splash from Asuka. And a hard kick to the back of the neck. The surgically repaired neck, mind you, of Nikki Bella. That has put her out months of her career. Now Asuka, a suplex of her own to Nikki Bella. Irish whip into the corner, goes Asuka from Nikki. And Nikki perches Asuka up on the top rope. Nikki Bella might be looking for here. She's looking for the superplex from the top rope. And Asuka with a European uppercut into the German suplex to Nikki Bella. All these women going back and forth as Nikki was looking for a DDT and Asuka countering it with a knee in the gut. And a side suplex to Nikki Bella from Asuka. And Asuka, a jumping kick into the hip bump. This might be the beginning of the end for Nikki Bella. As Asuka now works the thigh of Nikki Bella. And now Asuka wrapping Nikki up for the Asuka lock. The modified chicken wing and rear naked choke. Is Nikki going to tap out to the Asuka lock here? And she's too far from the ropes to force a break. Is Nikki going to tap out to the Asuka lock here? But the will is a champion. Nikki breaks out of the Asuka lock. The monkey flip right out of the corner, going post to post. As Nikki was trying to get the crowd here in Worcester behind her, as both these women were countering a maneuver, possibly an STO. Another German suplex from Asuka. Now Asuka into the cover on Nikki. Will this be enough to put Nikki away? And Nikki kicks out before two. And of course, Asuka right back on the attack. Now a Dragon Sleeper from Asuka to Nikki Bella. Is Nikki going to tap out to the Dragon Sleeper here from Asuka? Painful submission working the neck and the back. And Nikki continues to fight out. Now Asuka. Nikki with the takedown. Asuka with the head scissors. Popping on her head like Jack Gallagher. Snap near takedown from Asuka. And again with the body scissors to the head of Nikki. Nikki rolls back on her belly and the backbreaker to Asuka. As Nikki immediately goes into the cover now on Asuka. And Asuka kicks out before the count of two. As you can see the exhaustion and frustration starting to build on the face of Nikki. As Asuka was going for that Jumping kick, and Nikki countered with a spine buster. And Nikki with the Alabama slam to Asuka. Face first into the mat. As Nikki again works the legs of Asuka, rolls into the cover. And Asuka kicking out before 2. Nikki's got to be wondering at this point, what do I have to do to put Asuka away here, which is easier said than done against the former longest reigning champion in NXT. And Nikki with the Bella Buster, homage to her sister Brie. But Nikki taking too much time. And now rolling into the cover. And Nikki Bella pins Asuka with the Bella Buster. Is this what we might see at overtime? Asuka falling to Sasha Banks. And here tonight it was against Nikki Bella. Hell of a contest between these two women. Is this what we might see in overtime? Asuka's shoulders to the mat. In a 1, 2, 3. And coming up next, we're going to hear from one half of our general manager's edge to see what he has in mind exactly. I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see. What's up, Worcester, Massachusetts? Guys, I just want to come out here to say thank you and thank you and thank you over and over again for the support here in RCW since Christian and I became the general managers. And of course, the pay-per-view that's coming up after overtime will be RCW's Anything Goes, which means that there could be a tables match, a ladder match, last man standing, who knows? We don't even know yet for sure, but we can promise you it's going to be a hell of a show at Anything Goes. And I hope you guys are excited as I am for our main event, Chris Jericho and Seth Rollins. Number one contendership for the new champ, Finn Balor, who'll be in action next against Sheamus at overtime. Thank you everybody so much for your time and enjoy the rest of your night. And it seems Edge is excited for Anything Goes. which is going to be our pay-per-view next month. For the month of May, anything goes. As of course, Overtime is this month's pay-per-view. And as Edge said just moments ago, Finn Balor, the new champion, will be in action against Sheamus. And here comes the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, the 3-time world champion. And of course, winning his first world championship, the WWE Championship from John Cena at TLC back in, I believe, 2009. One of the fastest meteoric rises for any superstar. Sheamus winning the WWE title in a TLC match. Or tables match, excuse me. But tonight, Sheamus isn't facing John Cena. He's facing the Demon King, Finn Balor, the new RCW Heavyweight Champion since RCW's final bell. And there he is, the new RCW World Heavyweight Champion, Finn Balor, with that gold around his waist. And of course, Finn, amongst all of us later on tonight, will find out who his number one contender will be at Overtime. It'll be Chris Jericho or Seth Rollins. But for the time being, the new champion makes his way to the ring. Finn Balor, the third man to ever hold that RCW World Heavyweight Championship. The inaugural champion was Bray Wyatt, then the longest reigning champion, Chris Jericho, and the current champ, Finn Balor. Finn Balor told us after he came back to RCW, after he defeated Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell in February, that two promises he's going to make. He's going to become the new champ and defeat the unstoppable Luke Harper in the process, and he made good on those promises. But now I think Finn's goal is to hold that championship for as long as he can. So here we go, Finn Balor and Finn Balor and Sheamus facing off in the middle of the ring. Finn working on the arm of Sheamus, and now Sheamus with a hold on to Finn Balor, tests his strength here. just wrenching the arm. And finally a takedown from Sheamus. And of course these two fought a number of weeks ago when Finn Balor first returned to RCW after taking some time off in a sling blade. But this time when these two face off, Finn Balor's the champ. He is the guy to beat with the target on his back. And with Sheamus, the Irish brawler, clubbing down the right hands to the face of Balor. And more hard strikes. As long as I suppose that Sheamus has the champ where he wants to make a statement to put Balor in his place. But Balor is not one to give up so easily. So he went from a drop kick. And Sheamus with a headbutt. As Sheamus went for that headbutt, Finn Balor was letting all hell break loose. And Sheamus with a back suplex. Or a side suplex rather to Finn. And a full Nelson slam to the champion. As the crowd here in Worcester is chanting, "You look stupid," as Sheamus. And Finn with a snap suplex. Finn, the enziguri off the ropes. And Finn with a side suplex of his own. And Finn with a face buster. Got Sheamus up on his shoulders. And a kick to the side of the head. Now Finn on the apron. Springboard. Finn might have been looking to put Sheamus away here with that running drop kick to the middle turnbuckle, as Sheamus is going to hit the white noise to Finn Balor. As Sheamus slides right into the cover on the champion, and Finn barely kicks out of the white noise. And Sheamus can't believe it, thought he had him right there. As Finn sweeps the leg. And a DDT to Sheamus. Now Finn's feeling it. The double axe handles in the sling blade. And Sheamus with the bro kick from out of nowhere. Laying out the champion. As the refs finally getting into position here. And Sheamus has just pinned the champ. And everybody in this arena is stunned at what we just saw. Sheamus pinning the champ. This is a much different match from their first encounter. Last time, Finn walked out the victor. This time, Sheamus lays out the champ. And this has to escalate Sheamus to a future championship match. And coming up next, the former champion Bayley is in one-on-one action against Natalia, one of the more dangerous women in RCW. Now Natalia in the ring. Natalia, one of the more experienced veterans here in RCW, as she takes on the former champion Bayley. And this would also be a great contest and test for Bayley to be put back in the championship picture, as the Rocky Armflate Inflatable 2 Men and the Bayley Buddies are here in Worcester. And of course, Bayley, one of the more lovable and friendliest people you will ever meet. She's always so grateful for the opportunity she's given in life. Not even given, she's earned. Like, she has earned every title as she has won. As the Queen of Hearts takes on the Hugger. Right out of the gate, Natalia with Northern Lights suplex to Bayley, and Bayley with a face buster into the running double axe clothesline. And Bayley was looking for a DDT. Natalia with a knee to the gut. And now Natalia with the Alabama Slam to Bayley. And of course, Natalia, a former Divas champion in her own right. Doesn't seem to care so much about championships as long as she's still able to do what she loves to do, which is perform for everybody in a 20-by-20 ring. And Natalia with a modified surfboard right there. A submission maneuver to Bayley. Now Bayley with a lariat. Knocking Natalia silly. Now Bayley working the legs of Natalia. Natalia with a European uppercut. And a huge slam to Bayley. As Natalia into the cover. And Bayley kicking out immediately. These two women going back and forth. Crucifix takedown from Natalia. And Bayley with a high knee. Natalia delivering sneak eyes to Bailey. And the Natty by nature, this is clothesline shades of her dad. Jim the Anvil Neidhart. As Bailey with a kip up Hurricane. Not even a kip up, a Hurricane Rana. And now Bailey with the double axe handles. Feeling it. Into the shoulder tackle. In the corner. Then the elbow. As the hugger section comes alive for Bailey. As Bailey delivers the Baileyplex to Natalia. Onto the turnbuckle as Bailey is setting up for the Bailey to belly to Natalia into the cover. And Natalia kicks out of the Bailey to belly. And of course, I don't think Bailey would expect anything less from a veteran like Natalia. Natalia went off the side Russian leg sweep into the cover. And Bailey able to kick out. As Bailey sends Natty up and over the top. And suplexes her back in the ring. Into the cover goes Bailey on Natalia now, and Natalia kicks out. Now Bailey ascending to the top rope with a Macho Man style elbow coming up empty off the elbow drop. Bailey with a DDT to Natalia. As Bailey is trying to get the hugger section. And the hugger section comes alive right now. And Bailey again, looking for the Baileyplex to Natalia on the turnbuckle. It looked like Natalia was going for her own belly to belly, with Bailey fighting out of it. And Bailey to belly to Natalia. Into the cover now. And Bailey has pinned Natalia. And Bailey never gives up. The never say die attitude. As Bailey gets to celebrate with the hugger section. And coming up next is a elimination tag team match as the Club and Team Altitude go at it one more time. After the controversy that happened at Final Bell with Luke Gallows being counted out and the champions using championship advantage to retain the titles. This time they're not going to get away with it so easily. Now it's going to be an elimination tag match. So the only way to win is for both members to be eliminated. So it'll be extremely vital for whether it's the champions or the club to keep both members in the match. And here comes the club out. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the former IWGP Tag Team Champions, then come over to WWE and win the Raw Tag Team Championships. And were once contenders for the RCW Tag Team Champions back at Final Bell. And of course, we all know what happened at Final Bell. I don't think Gallows and Anderson are going to let that happen again. And here come the Tag Team Champions, Team Altitude. The first ever two-time tag champs. Here in RCW. And of course the other tag team champions were Enzo and Cass. And again, this is a elimination tag team match, which means if one person is pinned or submitted or even counted out or disqualified, this match still continues till both men are taken out of the match, as Ryder takes it to Carl Anderson right now. This is more or less a Final Bell rematch. So the tag team titles are not on the line though. Now Ryder fighting back off Carl Anderson and sending Anderson up and over the top as Neville, just like at Final Bell, Neville isolates Carl Anderson, but at Final Bell it was Luke Gallows and now the team, but now the tag champs are taking advantage. Both tag champs, Ryder and Neville, are assaulting Carl Anderson on the outside. They want to assert their dominance as the tag team, as the tag team champs. I believe we're at a count of 6 or 7. I'm not quite sure. or now a count of 8. As Neville throws Carl Anderson back inside and Ryder slides back in. Utilizing the 10 count to their advantage, the tag champs. As Carl Anderson makes a tag to Luke Gallows. And now the club attacking Zack Ryder. As the crowd here in Worcester's behind the tag champs. And even then, as Gallows falls into the cover, I was about to say, even then when both members of the team are in the ring at the same time, they have to a count of 5 to one of them get back on the apron. The one that's not legally in the match. As Luke Gallows sends Ryder corner to corner. Now laying waste to Ryder. Gallows and Anderson unleashing rage and frustration upon Zack Ryder, falling victim. The Ryder continuing to fight as he tags in Neville. Neville, the former Cruiserweight champion. Former king of the Cruiserweights. As Gallows goes for a full Nelson slam. See the height that Neville reached on that full Nelson slam. My God. Had to be 10 feet in the air. Gallows fighting back with the elbow. Neville chopping the leg of Gallows into the enziguri from Neville. And Gallows with a high knee. And of course, we know how dangerous Gallows and Anderson are from their time over in Japan. As the crowd here in Worcester is chanting for Ryder. As Neville makes a tag to Ryder. And Ryder with a drop kick to the face of Gallows and keeping the big man down. Now further doing so with the foot DDT. And now Ryder with the side suplex to Luke Gallows. As Ryder delivers another elbow to the back of Gallows. Now Ryder setting up for the broski boot to Luke Gallows. And now Ryder sends Gallows in the corner with Neville as they prepare to send an airdrop to Luke Gallows. Into the cover rolls Neville. And Gallows stays alive. Probably had to put another ounce of oomph into that kick out, as this is again an elimination tag match. This is not your standard tag team match. Standing shooting star from Neville to Luke Gallows. Now Gallows tags in Anderson. Great tag teams here in RCW. The tag champs, Team Altitude, and the club, Gallows and Anderson. As Neville sweeps the leg of of Anderson. And into the cover goes Neville. And Anderson with a kick out. And again, this is a elimination tag team match where if you fall to the pin or where you get a pinfall or you tap out, you're going to be eliminated from the match and leaving your tag partner high and dry as Neville goes for that missile drop kick to the back of Carl Anderson. And then a standing corkscrew press onto Carl Anderson. As they go for it again. Another airdrop. This time to Carl Anderson. Will this be enough to eliminate Carl Anderson out of this matchup? And Anderson stays alive. As finally the club hits some double team maneuvers onto the tag champs. And Gallows with a double axe handle to the back of Zack Ryder. Into the cover, and the ref finally coming to for the cover, buying Ryder some extra time. And Ryder with a high knee. As he goes in the cover on Gallows now. And Gallows staying alive, as you saw right there. Neville jumping into the ring to make sure that Anderson wasn't going to interfere. And Gallows got Ryder up and down with the whoa for the chokeslam, but Ryder countering. A huge counter for Ryder. And here we go with a second airdrop to Luke Gallows. This time, will this be enough to put Gallows away and eliminate him in this tag match? And it does. So now it's Carl Anderson versus the tag champs. As Anderson's got Neville perched up on the top rope. Not a smart idea, knowing Neville's history, but Carl Anderson delivering a cutter to Neville from the top rope. As Carl Anderson goes for that running drop kick to the face of Neville. And now Carl Anderson might be looking to single out a member. He goes for the cutter. Single out a member of Team Altitude as Ryder makes the save. And that could have been it right there for Neville if Ryder didn't save a pin. As Neville springboard, frog splash, going from making a complete 180. And Anderson continues to fight amongst being now essentially a 2-on-1 handicap match. And a neck breaker from Carl Anderson. Now into the cover, center of the ring. And Neville kicking out before two. As both men are stirring in the middle of the ring. Whoa, Neville with a head snap right there to Carl Anderson, and again a DDT with head scissors. Neville into the cover, and Carl Anderson stays alive again. Neville sending Carl Anderson into the corner. I'm just staring a hole into Carl Anderson. As now Anderson is back in the corner of the tag champs. We go for a spine buster into the boot from Ryder. As Neville is ambushing the referee. Now we've got no... What the hell is Neville doing? German suplex of the referee. Maybe not to finish off Carl Anderson yet. Ryder to the top rope with the splash. And there's no referee. Now the referee just coming to. As for whatever reason, Neville attacked the referee. And a face buster into the middle turnbuckle from Ryder from Anderson. And a lariat from Carl Anderson sending Ryder inside out. With a double axe handle to the chest. Anderson, spinebuster, into the cover. And Ryder's eliminated. It is now 1-on-1. And Neville might have brought this upon himself, attacking the referee. As Anderson went for a low drop kick into the corner. Anderson, the cover. And the club has once again beaten the tag champs. Among some controversy there in the end with Neville attacking the referee. Essentially, Neville just costed Team Altitude this matchup. What the hell's going on here with Neville? There you see in the closing moments the cutter from Carl Anderson. And the club pick up another win over the tag champs. Neville's got some explaining to do, considering that he attacked the referee. Another win for the club. And coming up next, Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler, the new RCW Twitch TV champion since winning the title and final bell in a triple threat match, being a last minute addition. As he pins Cesaro, where Wyatt was the champion, and he didn't have to be involved in the finish to lose the title. But here comes Kevin Owens, the former Intercontinental NXT champion and the WWE Universal champion. If Kevin Owens can beat Dolph Ziggler here tonight, he would be in a championship picture. If he can beat Dolph Ziggler and the Twitch TV champion. And of course, this is Dolph Ziggler's first match since winning the title at Final Bell. And let's hope that Ziggler can be the champion of the night to win his respected matchup. Since we just saw moments ago Team Altitude losing to the club. And early on we saw Finn Balor lose to Sheamus. As Dolph Ziggler is happy to beat the new Twitch TV champion, the fourth man ever to hold that title. And here we go with Owens and Ziggler, and Owens immediately on the attack to Dolph Ziggler as he's pandering to the crowd too much, and Ziggler takes advantage with a clothesline to the back of the head. And a diving elbow. Now Kevin Owens with that maneuver there. And now Kevin Owens with a spine buster to Dolph Ziggler. And of course, Dolph Ziggler, an accomplished amateur wrestler back in Kent State, missile drop kick. And Kevin Owens, the brawler. But he can get down and dirty with the holds with the best of them. As Dolph Ziggler climbs to the top rope and an elbow drop. Shades of his idol, Shawn Michaels. And Ziggler with a DDT to Kevin Owens. As he was looking for another DDT, but Kevin Owens with a counter with a knee. Looks like Owens going for it. A follow-away slam, and Ziggler countered into the pin and a kick out from Kevin Owens. And Ziggler back on the attack. And so is Owens. And a swinging neck breaker counter from Kevin Owens in the sunset flip. As Owens shoots the half onto Ziggler here. And Ziggler kicking out. And of course, Ziggler will also find out in moments after this match in our main event if he will face Seth Rollins or not at overtime. And Kevin Owens with a lariat and a running senton. Kevin Owens springboard senton. As the crowd here at Worcester's behind Kevin Owens, chanting "Kill Owens, kill" as Dolph Ziggler goes for the 10 count of elbows to the heart of Kevin Owens. The show off, doing what he does best. In the cover. Sorry about that. We're having some technical difficulties, but nonetheless, Ziggler went for the zigzag onto Kevin Owens. And now Kevin Owens looking for the pump-up powerbomb to the champion, into the cover. And Ziggler kicking out before the count of 2. We know the heart that Ziggler has with his match with Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble kickoff back in October. And a running double axe handle from Kevin Owens. And now Owens working the knee of Dolph Ziggler. He goes for the knee again and stomping the chest repeatedly at Dolph Ziggler. The Snapmare takedown. These boys laying it all out here tonight. As Kevin Owens is stalking Dolph Ziggler, figuring out what to do next, but Ziggler with a shoulder tackle. Into the cover goes Ziggler. And Kevin Owens kicking out at 2. Kevin Owens avoiding the elbows to the head. And Kevin Owens with that package pile driver to Dolph Ziggler, but looked like Owens wasn't done there just yet. Another side suplex from Dolph Ziggler, the kip up into the cover. And Kevin Owens again kicks out. Frustration starting to build between these two men, delivering both their finishing maneuvers earlier on in the matchup and still not be able to put each other away. As Kevin Owens stalking Dolph Ziggler to set him up for the pump-up powerbomb. To Dolph Ziggler into the cover. And Kevin Owens has pinned the Twitch TV champion. What in the hell's going on here? We've had 3 champions in action and they've all lost here tonight. Something in the water here in Worcester. Oh my God. I have to safely assume that if Sasha Banks was in action here tonight, she would lose as well. My God. Something in the water. All the people that have beaten our champs here tonight just want it so badly. As you look, take another look again at the pump-up powerbomb from Kevin Owens to Ziggler to seal the win for Kevin Owens. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, our main event, a ladder match between Chris Jericho and Seth Rollins. The winner to face Finn Balor for the RCW World Heavyweight Championship at RCW's Overtime. And if Seth Rollins loses, he automatically faces Dolph Ziggler for the Twitch TV Championship at Overtime. And both Dolph Ziggler and Finn Balor have to be watching this match closely in regards to who they may be facing at Overtime. It was originally supposed to be #1 contender Seth Rollins, after winning the Battle Royal at Final Bell, was supposed to face whoever may be the champion at Overtime, but since Jericho lost, He feels like he's owed a rematch and invoking his rematch clause. But his rematch clause and the #1 contendership by Rollins are all up for grabs here. You see the briefcase up above the ring, suspended. And inside the contract and #1 contendership for the RCW Heavyweight Championship and Finn Balor at Overtime. I've been looking forward to this match all week long since it was confirmed by General Managers Edge and Christian last week. It's weird to see Jericho without the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist, as this is only his third match as not the champion. Chris Jericho, a 5-time world champion in WWE. And of course the former RCW world champion, 9-time Intercontinental champion, multiple-time tag team champ. But his rematch clause and Rollins' #1 contendership are up for grabs, 10 feet in the air. And here we go, Rollins and Chris Jericho, and Rollins knows what it takes to win a ladder match. He won the Money in the Bank ladder match a number of years ago. As he goes for the drop kick to Chris Jericho. As Rollins middle rope, Phoenix Splash. And Jericho with the elbow following the rebound off the ropes. As Jericho middle rope diving senton. As Rollins sweeps the legs of Jericho. Of course, pinfalls or submissions not going to matter in this match. You got to introduce a ladder and put it in the dead center of the ring to grab the briefcase. And Rollins, a 2-time world champion in WWE, a DDT to Chris Jericho. And Rollins pandering to the crowd. Goes for a suplex to Chris Jericho. And Jericho with a suplex to Rollins. As Rollins sweeps the leg of Chris Jericho. Now Rollins getting himself all fired up as he goes for the Seth Walker to Chris Jericho. Jericho with a face buster, sling blade by Rollins. And a springboard Phoenix Splash coming up empty. But Rollins right again, back on his feet. Rollins were really working the crowd to his advantage. Face buster by Rollins. Now Rollins finally grabbing a ladder and introducing it in this matchup. Oh, no. Rollins face buster to Jericho on the ladder. Oh my God. Rollins schoolboy super kick. Making sure Jericho's down and out so he can watch. So we can have Jericho watch as he quickly ascends the ladder to grab the briefcase that holds the contract to face Balor at overtime, and Jericho meeting him halfway. Trading blows back and forth, these two go, and they fight on top of the ladder in the crowd here. And Worcester's loving it. As Jericho sends Rollins back to the ground, and Jericho elbow from the top of the ladder to Rollins. Jericho now grabbing the briefcase as Rollins just lays on the mat. Do nothing but watch as he's trying to start and get himself back onto his feet. And Rollins has pushed the ladder underneath Jericho. An electric chair back to the earth. And Rollins again quickly ascending to the top of the ladder. Now he's not worried about the briefcase. Phoenix Splash coming up empty off the top of the ladder. And Jericho again working to grab the briefcase. Rollins with elbows to the back of the legs. But Jericho shoving off Rollins, and Rollins now getting frustrated as he again goes back and attacks Jericho. Pulling Jericho off the ladder. Dragon Screw takeover. And a neck breaker to Seth Rollins. And now Jericho looking for the code breaker to Seth Rollins. And now Jericho climbing back on top of the ladder, making sure Rollins is down and out to secure the briefcase. But Rollins quickly getting back up to his feet than anticipated, as he again shoves the ladder out from under Jericho into the powerbomb on the ladder. Jericho is a broken body of flesh and blood as Rollins top rope frog splash onto Jericho on the ladder. These two men want this match so badly. Smart strategy by Rollins to throw Jericho out of the ring, so it's just him, the ladder, and the briefcase. Now Jericho stirring to his feet on the outside. Can Rollins grab a hold of the briefcase before Jericho gets back in the ring? And he does, just like a Money in the Bank number of years ago. Seth Rollins has secured the contract to face Balor at RCW overtime. Seth Rollins will face Finn Balor for the RCW World Championship. More or less a rematch from their match at SummerSlam to become the inaugural WWE Universal Champion. So now the stage is set for the main event of Overtime. Rollins and Balor for the RCW World Heavyweight Championship. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us tonight here on the Strike Zone. We'll catch you next week. Have a great night.